So, I've been thinking. I've got this idea.
I'm listening.
Why don't we go into town, have lunch? Just take our time and enjoy ourselves?
In public.
Yeah.
When do you want to do it?
Sunday. About noon?
Sounds fine to me. Maybe I'll wear something bright and flashy.
That was a scene from the new Netflix film Our Souls at Night, which is out this Friday. And with us now is one of the film's stars. What do we put? What are all the adjectives we put in front?
None.
Legendary.
None of the above.
Brilliant.
Galactically.
Galactically. Robert Redford. It's great to have you here.
Nice to be here.
And, you know, I guess you figure this out as you get older, that there's some people that I haven't talked to in 20 or 30 years. They walk into a room, and it's just like a day hasn't passed. I saw that great Michael Haney interview with you in Esquire, and you talked about you and Jane Fonda. No matter what happens, the ups, the downs, the turbulence, you guys get back together again and act, and it's true friendship. It's like a day hasn't passed.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think there's just a rhythm there that's solid and it doesn't need a lot of talk or explanation, and that's something I appreciate.
You know what's just in that clip that we just showed, what is really interesting to me and perhaps others is the diminution of the studio system because of all the remakes that they make and robot movies. Here you have a story about two human beings. You know, I mean, never mind the off-screen friendship that you and Jane Fonda have had for years, but the movie, the story itself, the storyline, that's a movie. Do you miss what's happened in Hollywood? They don't make movies like that.
By the way, I love Barnacles. They're making robot movies now.
I didn't know he was going to go. He was going to go intellectual. So, what?
That's the studio system, you know. I mean, you used to make movies with beginnings, middle, and end, and now it's, you know, all these.
Well, I'll tell you what I know what you're saying. I think that for me, the most important thing is story, and I try to break it down into 3 steps. You know, what's the story? Who are the characters that embody the story, and where's the emotion? In those 3 steps. And I think because of the new technology and the advances that new technology has brought to film, special effects becomes more and more important, and there's sometimes a tendency to lose story.
Right.
And so for me, that makes it even more important to emphasize story.
What is it about this story, this script, that attracted you to the film?
I think the thing that attracted me was that finding love later on in life when you didn't think that was possible anymore, you felt that your life was pretty much over, and all you were left to do was just sort of sit there and think about the past, because that's all there was to do. And to find out that love wasn't gone completely and that you can find it again, and when you do, it has a depth that earlier love didn't have.
A depth and an appreciation.
Yeah,
like
a depth. You've been through things, and so you bring that to the fore. And so anyway, that's what appealed to me. It was a story about love coming later on in life when I didn't think there was many stories. And also I thought that it would be nice to do a film that would satisfy older audiences. That's a little self-serving because I'm older.
Like Barnacle.
Yeah.
Who doesn't
Nobody's
like
that old.
robot
I mean,
movies?
Yeah.
You know, in your movies, The Candidate, All the President's Men, I know in your personal life you've been outspoken a little bit in politics as well. I wonder, sitting here and looking at the fact that the United States of America has elected as its president a figure of popular culture, the idea of a merger of politics and culture like we're seeing right now, what is that like for you to experience?
Well, I would prefer not to go to that place right now. I'm more interested in other things. I think that what's happening on the highest level is the people are going to figure that out eventually, and I don't want to go there because that gets into territory that's already being well covered. What's interesting to me is what is being lost in the process. What's being lost in terms of the American ideal, in terms of democratic principles, what's being lost in the process. And I think what I hope for is that the American people start to pay real attention. I think the fact that we have someone in place right now is there because we weren't paying attention. And everybody assumed that Hillary was going to win on a landslide, so people didn't come out. Other people either didn't care, and so therefore we have what we have. So in a sense, what we have, we shouldn't be complaining about it because it's our fault, basically. And I just soon not go there and figure out, okay, what are we going to do with what we have left here? What can we do, and how can the public become more and more involved, and particularly young people?
A lot of people are looking back to all the president's men, looking back to that time as an example of the system working, where you said the American people would figure it out eventually. Well, even we're hearing well into Watergate, only 30% of Americans thought it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Do you have confidence that that it may end up like Watergate? We were just showing clips of all the president's men, and that everybody's going to do their job eventually.
Well, I'll tell you what impressed me about that time, that as I look at it now, is that there was a time. There was a time when two sides worked together to get to the truth. And when I made a documentary that you're involved with, you're in, where you see the Republicans and Democrats together on a panel interviewing John Dean. And what struck me about it when I looked at it, I said, wait a minute, two sides working together to get to the truth. And now we have this polarized situation, which it seems so destructive. And I'm thinking, well, there was a time. Maybe we should make a documentary showing that there was a time when two sides working together made a difference. And the good.
That's what we need again.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate you being here, despite the fact you knew Barnacle was going to be here.
Well, we do the best we can under the circumstances.
Thank you. With what we're given, exactly. The film is Our Souls at Night. It's out on Netflix this Friday. And also, I've just got to say, if you haven't seen it, I'm going to plug again All Is Lost, which is just an extraordinary film.
Thank you.
Extraordinary in every way. Thank you so much, Robert Redford.
Thank you.
Greatly appreciate it. That does it for us this morning. Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.